Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we go racing at Dover, but first we have some more breaking news here on the channel for the Career Mode series, and it is Penske Racing will be expanding to a four-car team next season. Roger Penske has confirmed Austin Cindric will be piloting the number 33 Penske car, while Ryan Preece will move over to Wood Brothers Racing in the 21 car next season. Preece showed lots of potential in the two Pocono equal engine races, so he was our first choice, said Wood Brothers Racing. It is unclear who will pilot the 37 car next season, but Preece impressed in the two Pocono races, has got himself in the 21 car for next season as Cindric makes it a four-car team at Penske Racing. Originally, it looked like that it could come down to between Brad Keselowski and Ryan Blaney, maybe losing the ride and giving it up to Austin Cindric, especially Ryan Blaney at this point, who finds himself currently on the outside of the playoffs. But now Penske decides to actually expand to a four-car team as the now number 34, I can confirm, will not be in the career mode at all next season here, and that will be the car that's moving over to Penske Racing. So Front Row Motorsports will now downgrade to a one-car team next season. Now we come through, though, into the Truck Series weekend here at Gateway, where we had subscriber Ethan DeWeld in the truck for us, and he started up inside the top 10 here as we have 7 wins on the season currently in the Truck Series, and this is the very first race of the Truck Series playoffs now. And one thing I would like to see from NASCAR in the future is if they could kind of sync the start of the playoffs a little bit better in all three series, because the Truck Series starts multiple races before the Cup Series playoffs. The Cup Series playoffs start multiple races before the Xfinity Series playoffs, and it gets a little bit confusing. But either way, Ethan DeWeld moved himself up into the 3rd position, and he was moving his way forwards through the field very well, looking like we could potentially get our 8th win of the season here, and just our 2nd season as a Truck Series team and owner, having a great 2nd season, of course, looking to easily get to the Final Four, I think, this season now. As you see, Ethan would go up the inside of the 40 truck as he went down into turns 1, and he would move up into 2nd place. So he came through a little bit later. Now we're still running 2nd place behind Grant Enfinger in the late stages of this race here in the Car Shield 200 at Gateway now, as he was trying to close the gap, but we came through now to the final lap here in Gateway, and he had indeed closed the gap to about a car length or so as he went down into turns 1 here for the final time through the center of the corner and out of turns 2. Johnny Sauter was just behind Ethan DeWeld there, trying to put the pressure on, but now you see Ethan gets a tremendous run down the back straightaway here on the final lap in Gateway, and he sends it up the inside here of the 98 of Enfinger into turns 3, and it's going to be side by side for the victory. But he actually clears Enfinger with no problem at all now as he comes through out of turns 4 and holds off the 98 truck and out of turns 4 for the 8th time this season. And for the first race of the playoffs, we will win here in Gateway with Ethan DeWeld behind the wheel to pick up the victory here in the Truck Series. So a great way to start the episode. Another win here on the Truck Series side of things now, as we definitely have a chance to maybe get 10 wins here as a Truck Series owner this season, and hopefully we can pull that off. So that, of course, locks us into the next round of the playoffs already after just one race there. As you see, Ben Rhodes, Ty Gibbs, currently the two drivers on the outside looking in now as we come through into the Xfinity Series side of things, where we went racing at Dover. Michael Annett actually picked up the victory. Derek Krause, Sheldon Creed up there in P2 and P3. Haley Deegan, Kevin Magnussen, Christian Eckes all up inside the top 10. Sam Mayer down in P13. Allgaier down in 17th. Our car ended up being in the 19th position, so just inside the top 20 as we come through to the bottom of the field and to round it out was CJ McLaughlin now as we get ready, though, to go for the Cup Series weekend here at Dover, a track that I really do enjoy racing, one of my favorite tracks on the NASCAR Heat 5 game. So we come through running the paint scheme of, or the Pepsi paint scheme here in Dover as we get underway for qualifying. The goal was to hit a 23.354. Usually we qualify pretty well at a track like Dover, so I was anticipating us getting very close or beating that goal. So we came through now out of turns 4 down the front straightaway, and it looks like it's going to be a very solid lap with a 23.207. We beat the goal here and qualify P8 at Dover now, so a very solid qualifying effort, setting us up well for the second to final race of the regular season now, as Chase Briscoe and Denny Hamlin find themselves on the front row with Matt DiBenedetto, as well as our teammate of Chase Elliott in P3 and 4, and Joey Logano rounds out the top 5. Keselowski rounds out the top 10. The playoff grid kind of opened up a little bit last episode, so I didn't have the live playoff points in this one, but definitely in the next episode it might be needed in Daytona now as we get ready to go green here at Dover. Alright, boys, we've been just tearing it up lately with the win in Watkins Glen over Chase. Honestly, we know he deserved the win there, but, I mean, a great way overall to get our 5th win. Hopefully we can go get win number 6 today. I really like the track, and it's a tough one to drive, so we'll see what we can do. that you heard myself on the radio. And as we mentioned at the start of the episode, Penske Racing expanding to a 4-car team for Austin Cindric in the number 33. Don't have a paint scheme yet in place for that, but I might actually do a live stream where we come up with the paint scheme. Anthony Alfredo actually failed pre-race inspection, so he is starting at the back now, as now the 37, of course, will be empty going into next season, and I think you could see maybe a driver like Landon Castle actually fill up that car now as Priest moves over to the 21 next season, as we're ready to take the green flag. Chase Briscoe, Denny Hamlin lead the field to the green flag as we are underway here at Dover International Speedway. A driver like Chase Briscoe finds himself currently inside the playoffs, but one of the final drivers in the playoffs. Overall, he's like 10th in the points, but with the different winners we've had outside of the top 16, it's put him down towards the very bottom, trying to fight his way into the playoffs now as we come through down this back straightaway on this opening lap into turns 3. So Briscoe would love to, of course, be able to pick up a victory for the first time this season. He's got 2 career wins from his rookie season last season. He had actually 2 wins in a row, and now this season so far in his second season of his Cup Series career has been a little bit of a struggle. He hasn't been able to pull off any victories yet, but he still runs pretty solid in the points. Of course, like I said, about 10th place overall. Now, they're already 3 wide in front of us. Alex Bowman currently on the outside looking in, trying to get himself in the playoffs. He's had a lot of bad luck now. Our other teammate, Kyle Larson, was comfortably inside the playoffs for the majority of the season, but the last handful of races have just been a disaster for Kyle Larson. He's been on a bit of a downfall, and now he finds himself right on that bubble of potentially getting in, but also very well potentially getting eliminated from playoff contention. Now he's come through turn 2. Matt DiBenedetto actually took the lead early on from Briscoe, but Briscoe would actually retake the lead as Chase Elliott was running in P3, trying to take over second from DiBenedetto. But we came through running P9 now on lap 4, and the problem here was we had our rival of Joey Logano in front of us, and I could not find a way past Logano without running into him at all. So we was able to stay away from him last episode in Watkins Glen. So the goal, like I said a few times already, is just to not run into that 22 and just make sure we get him away from being a rival going into the playoffs. And unfortunately, Ryan Blaney, he was able to get up my inside. Blaney pretty much finds himself in a must-win situation now to get into the playoffs, and I was really expecting Penske to just get rid of Blaney for Austin Cindric, but instead, of course, they expanded the 4-car team, so Blaney will at least be on Penske Racing for one more season, and that's next season's going to be really big for him to prove himself in that number 12 car. Now, as you would see me trying to make a move up the inside of Logano now on lap 11, I sent it really hard into 3 to make sure he couldn't get to me, but unfortunately, I sent it way too deep into the corner. We slide up and give up the position once again to Logano and settle in here for the 10th spot. Chase Briscoe still leading at this point as we were already closing in on the end of stage 1 here. A pretty laid-back, chill stage now as we're just kind of chilling out in P10, running behind that 22 of Logano, because you know what? I'd rather have 10th and get away from making contact with Logano than, say, maybe running into the side of him getting like 5th or 6th right now, because we got the playoff points. We just need to make sure we don't run into that 22. But Chase Elliott in the final few laps took the lead in the stage, but then the caution comes out and Elliott gets awarded the stage victory. So Chase Elliott, who's been on a tear lately, is now once again picking up a stage win, so a playoff point to him as he was able to overtake Chase Briscoe now as Kyle Busch is up to 3rd. We would come into the pit lane for 2 cans of fuel as well as 4 fresh tires, as you see the rest of the running order on your screen. Currently Quinn Helf down there in P41 lap down, the only car that got lapped there in stage 1 now as we get ready to go green for the start of the second stage, as we actually gain 1 spot over Joey Logano and move now up into the 9th position, which unfortunately puts us in a position where he could come down into the side of us here in turns 1 now as we are underway for the start of stage 2. And of course, for the start of stage 2, we'll go into the AMP segment here in Dover International Speedway. An overall solid restart for us here to start stage 2, as we were able to get away from Joey Logano. No contact made, so we've done our job, and now he's nowhere near us. So hopefully we can go 2 races in a row without making any contact with the Penske champion from 2018, as we are up the inside of Kyle Busch as well. We will get up the inside of Matt DiBenedetto, so we would clear Kyle Busch, and as we came through into turns 1 on lap 6, we would have the opportunity to clear DiBenedetto by the time we came through to the exit of turn 2 now, as the 14 of Briscoe found himself back out front. Chase Elliott, Chase Briscoe, clearly the 2 fastest cars here today, but Hamlin was up in the mix there. Elliott would retake the lead from Briscoe's. We were 3 wide here on the exit of turn 2 with both Blaney and Cindric, both right now affiliate teammates, but next season will be teammates now, as it came through out of turns 4, now trying to work on passing the 21 of Austin Cindric now, as we come through to 30 laps to go in stage 2, but the caution actually comes out here early in the second stage. Nobody coming to the pit lane here, so we would be staying on, getting ready to go green for a restart here from P6, as it appears Ryan Preece and Chad Fincham coming to the pit lane. They did not actually cause a caution, but Austin Cindric, a driver right now who's very close on the point situation, so we're going to have to be careful around a driver like him at this point in the season. Overall, no matter what happens, Austin Cindric has had a tremendous rookie season. We've even seen him make a start for Penske Racing already in the 22 car, replacing the suspended Joey Logano earlier this season at Kansas Speedway after his altercation with myself. That happened multiple times already. And then we also saw Hailie Deegan make her debut in the Cup Series in that 21 car, and she had a very strong debut. Both her and Cindric finished in the top 10, and Cindric even had a chance to win the race. He finished runner-up to Denny Hamlin, who picked his first win up of the season, I believe it was, at Kansas now, as we came through, through 3 and out of turns for the McLaren of Eric Jones, trying to get up into the mix behind us there, as he was battling with Kyle Busch, but I was now on the outside there of the 10 of Matt DiBenedetto with 26 laps to go in stage 1. Hamlin, Briscoe, Elliott all running up in the top 3, as they've just been continuously the 3 fastest cars here today so far at Dover International Speedway now, as we run in P8 as we go down into turn 3, and there you got DiBenedetto up the inside of our teammate of the 48 of Alex Bowman, and Bowman currently, like we already mentioned, in a really tough position, and I'm going to try and help him whenever I can. So I actually let him get to the inside in front of me, and going into Daytona next episode, no matter what the case is, unless Bowman or something wins today, we're going to be doing everything we can to help both Alex Bowman as well as Kyle Larson, our 2 teammates, get into the playoffs now, as we came through out of turn 2. Larson has had such a downfall lately here in the career mode. It's been really disappointing to see for him, and now he finds himself in a tough position as well here, as we were up now to P6 after passing the 10 of Matt DiBenedetto, who's got 1 win this season at Bristol Motor Speedway. He's inside the playoffs, as you guys know, but we came through trying to pass now the 14 of Briscoe, who'd kind of fallen off now, as we actually have a crash though into turns 1. Nemechek in the 38 goes spinning, nearly hit the 23 of Bubba Wallace, but then the 32 of LaJoie got collected. There's a caution comes out here late in the second stage. Everybody coming to the pit lane this time for 2 cans of fuel as well as 4 fresh tires, except for Ryan Preece and Chad Fincham, who decide to stay out here for this restart now, as they pitted under the last caution. And of course, when you got 2 cars like that staying out on the track, you know exactly what's going to happen here on the restart. A bunch of drivers are going to get absolutely messed over, as we are back underway for the restart here with less than 20 laps to go now in stage 2, right behind that 14 of Chase Briscoe, as we go down into turns 1. Elliott in a really good spot to potentially take the lead here if he stays on that inside line, as we come through out of turns 2 into the left rear quarter panel of the 14, nearly turning Briscoe. A bit of a misjudgment on my end there, as we were going 3 wide in the middle now, as we came through in turn 3, now collecting ourselves Elliott, Blaney first, second, Bowman into third, but there you see the 37 and the 49 falling very quickly as I go up the inside of Denny Hamlin. Of course, the 49 and Chad Fincham, this is his final season with that team as well in the Cup Series of the career mode, as Red Bull Racing will be replacing that team, taking their charter now, as you would also get past the 37 of Preece, now in his final season in that slow car before he moves up into the 21 car now, as we come through out of turn 2, now up the inside of Eric Jones. Another misjudgment from myself, as we have an incident there. We hit the inside. Well, very fortunate to not damage the car more than we did. The caution does not come out. We get back going here, but just a mistake on my end there, as I dived up the inside. I came out of turn 2, and I just went up the track way more than I thought I did, and unfortunately we just came together with Eric Jones, so we would just regather ourselves. We passed Stenhouse, we would run down the 21 of Austin Cindric, and we would be able to pass him as well for that 7th position. So we just slowly but surely start to work our way forwards. Now the car was still driving pretty good now, as we came through to 5 laps to go in stage 2, when we were quickly running down the 0-2 of Eric Jones in the McLaren, who's already got to win the season at the first Michigan race, as well as we were running down our former teammate of Kyle Busch and last season's champion, now a 3-time Cup Series champion, Kyle Busch is here as we came through out of turns 4. Chase Elliott looking for the stage 2 victory as we came through, approaching now the final lap of stage 2, side by side in front of us between Jones and Busch here as we go down into turns 1. But just like stage 1, we actually get a caution right at the start of the final lap of the stage. So we get P7 here in the first stage as Ricky Stenhouse Jr. manages to round out the top 10, but Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Chase Briscoe, Alex Bowman, and Kyle Busch round out the top 5 here. So Elliott has swept the first 2 stages here in Dover. Car's driving fine, guys. If I can just keep from hitting people or hitting the wall and stuff, I think we'll be in pretty good shape here for the final stage. Eric Almirola actually brought out the caution here, as you see in P31, so very unfortunate for him as we actually lose 1 position on the pit lane due to the repairs that we just made to the car. Denny Hamlin drops down to P9, DeBetadetto gains 2 spots now as we get ready to go green for the 3rd and final stage, which is now underway. Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney lead the field back to the green flag. Alex Bowman doing everything he needs to be doing here today other than winning the race, so he's having a very strong point stay, and hopefully he can finish it off here with a strong top 10 run in Dover now with just 40 laps to go as we get underway for this final stage now. Austin Cindric trying to make sure he has a good run as we go down into turn 3. Cindric not in the safest position, but if he finishes today with a top 10, then he should be fine going into Daytona as we come through out of turns 4, as well as there's another story going on right here. If we can just finish here as well in the top 10 today, we will lock up the regular season championship for the 2nd time in our 3rd season here in the career mode for the Cup Series. So if we just finish exactly where we are right now, we will be the regular season champion, and that will get us even more playoff points to make us even more comfortable going into the playoffs. Now 5 wins already on the season now, as we were able to steal a win from Chase Elliott in overtime last episode at Watkins Glen. Very unfortunate for him because he had the fastest car, and if it stayed green without a caution, there was 0 chance I was going to close in on him. So like I said, very unfortunate for him, but we were now battling Alex Bowman. I was trying to give him some time here, and you see I had actually given up quite a bit of time to the cars ahead because I was trying to give Bowman a chance to settle in, run the bottom, but he refused to run the bottom lane. So we came through into turn 3, and we would end up clearing him here and now move up into P8. Bowman down into P9, and I don't know, it's really weird when the other drivers decide to run the top lane now as we came through to lap 69. Nice. Elliott still out in front with a little bit over 30 laps to go as we run down the 21 of Austin Cindric as we're trying to close in on a top 5 position. But this final stage was going green for a quite significant amount of time. We would run down the 21 of Cindric now towards the end of lap 70, and through 3 and out of 4 now. Cindric actually pins us down on the exit of turn 4, doing a very good job there. We keep it clean, but by the time we went into turns 1, we would be able to clear Cindric here. Now move up into 7th place, now running down the 10 of DeBetadetto, and sure enough, as we went into turns 1 now with 26 laps to go, he would take the top lane, and we would easily clear the 10 cars that came through out of turn 2. So just continuing to move our way forwards here as time goes on. We came through to 20 laps to go now. We had run down a lap traffic, the 32 of Corey LaJoie. We had just passed him. Elliott, Briscoe right up there in the mix. Blaney was down to P5. Kyle Busch was up there as well. So we were just slowly but surely reeling these guys in that were struggling with the lap traffic. Elliott, though, still in control by the time we came through to lap 82. Out of turns for the 17, actually blows the right front tire, collects his teammate of Todd Gilliland, hits myself. He goes spinning there out of turns for the caution, comes out with 18 laps to go in Dover now, as everybody is going to be forced into the pit lane here for, I was expecting 4 tires because I was looking at the field. We needed at least a can and a half of fuel to make it to the end, but then I looked at the left side tires, and the best left side tire we had was at 58%, so I thought it was a no-brainer 4-tire call. I ended up actually being completely wrong, and we give up 11 positions and drop to P17 for the restart. So we will line up on the inside behind Noah Gragson, and the most frustrating part about this was we do have, of course, a 4-tire advantage compared to the other drivers that took 2 tires, but now we're going to have to try and find a way past Joey Logano when we get there now, as we are back underway with 15 laps to go here in the second to last race of the regular season here in Dover. Behind us, we got Kevin Harvick. He's locked into the playoffs after winning earlier this season. Now, as he came through out of turns 2, a lot of questions were up in the air about can Harvick maybe be calling it a career after this season, as he's been struggling here the last few seasons in the career mode, but was able to pick up that win, silence the doubters for a little bit now, as he will be going for his 2nd Cup Series championship of his career. As we came through, though, into turns 1, passing the 3 car of Austin Dillon, we were quickly moving our way forwards with this fresh tire advantage. Alex Bowman was up in a second. Chase Elliott, who was leading this race, actually just handed away the lead and for some reason was determined to try and make the high line work. Chase Elliott completely choking away the victory here because for some reason he thought, you know what, the only way he's going to win this race is by running the slowest lane around the track. Now, as he would get onto the inside for a brief amount of time, but would not stay there long. So I myself struggled to pass Joey Logano as expected. I was trying to make it work around the outside on him, but I was also trying to make sure we do not run into that 22 of Logano. So it was very close here out of turns 2, nearly making contact with the 22 of Joey Logano. Now, as by the time we came through into turns 1 on lap 91 with 10 laps to go, fortunately Logano went to the top and would allow me to get past him here as we came through out of turn 2. But once again, the 9 of Chase Elliott falling down the order as we would get up to the inside of Alex Bowman, who was also trying to run the top lane and make that work. So we came through passing him, no problem at all. But it was just so baffling that the fastest car on the track all race, Chase Elliott, throwing away a win because he thinks for some reason he can make the slowest lane on the track all of a sudden work and win the race. And you can see him, you would think that his AI would have thought, you know what, after he's lost 3 or 4 positions, he would maybe try to go down to the fastest lane of the track, but he did not, surprisingly, which helps us, of course, now as that would make a pass on the 10 of Matt DiBenedetto, and we were now up into P5 after passing Denny Hamlin as well, our former teammate, and sure enough, we would run down Chase Elliott, who just makes no effort to run the bottom lane. He goes all the way to the top, and lets me go by on the inside now as we came through the turn 2 up into P4, as now in the closing stages of this race. Kyle Busch trying to hold on to the victory, but he's got Chase Briscoe right on the back of him as we're side by side with Ryan Blaney. Very close quarters right there as we come through across the line. 6 laps to go now as Briscoe doing everything he can to make the pass on Kyle Busch and get that first win of the season and make it so much easier for him going into Daytona to make sure he does not have to worry about a surprise winner getting him out of the playoffs. And sure enough, he would take the lead away from Kyle Busch within the final few laps of this race as we came through to lap 97. We were faster than both of these guys with our 4 fresh tire advantage compared to their 2 tires, but we were running out of time as we come through to 3 laps to go. You see Kyle still at least maintaining with the 14 of Briscoe as I'm just slightly closing in, but like I said, not enough time. We come through to 2 laps to go. We're approaching the final lap here in Dover. Briscoe just wants to see that white flag as we come through out of turns 4. Sure enough, the final lap is underway here at Dover International Speedway for Chase Briscoe. Kyle Busch goes all the way to the top, making it even easier for Briscoe here as we come through the center of 1 out of turns 2 for the final time, nearly into the outside wall there as we go down this back straightaway here in Dover into turns 3. Chase Briscoe, 2 wins on his Cup Series career, but none in his second season, but that's going to change right here as we exit turns 4. Briscoe is actually going to win as a caution comes out right at the end. The 34 of McDowell ends up crashing, but Briscoe gets the win anyways, his 3rd career win, his 1st of the season, and now he does not have to worry about getting knocked out of playoff contention at Daytona by a surprise winner as he locks himself into the playoff grid here with the win here today in Dover. So a tremendous effort there from the 14 of Briscoe. Elliott still got a top 10. Bowman got a top 10, but Elliott, as we all know, probably should have won that race, got his 4th win of the season. He's been on a tear lately with speed. He's got now 9 stage wins this season, which matches myself. Austin Cindric actually DNF'd from the race. We did not catch that on the video, but he is done for in this race. 24 laps down. So that is really going to mess with the playoff grid now. I said that all he needs is really a top 10 to be in good shape, and now it's about to change as we check out the playoff grids for the Truck Series, Xfinity Series, as well as the Cup Series, and I can confirm that with that strong effort from us in Dover, we have won the regular season championship. We cannot be overtaken no matter what the circumstances are in the next episode, even if we finish last every single stage. So in the next episode, we go to Daytona for the regular season finale, and Kyle Larson finds himself currently 2 points below the cut line. Bowman 12 points, so they can point their way in. So we got to do everything we can to help them out. Custer 36, Blaney 43, Bubba Wallace 51. So Custer maybe could have a chance to point his way in, but realistically Custer on down has to win their way in. But now it's going to be down between Austin Cindric, Kyle Larson, and Alex Bowman. Those 3 drivers for 1 spot in the playoffs, because Keselowski, if he does not DNF, he should be fine. So it's going to get very interesting in the next one. I'm very excited to see what happens there. But basically, 3 drivers, 1 spot to try and point their way in. So it's going to be really interesting. We're going to do everything we can to somehow get both of our teammates in of Larson and Bowman. Hopefully one of them wins, and then maybe hopefully Bowman wins, Larson points his way in. That would be the easiest way to do it now. But as always, if you guys enjoyed this episode, you do know what to do. And before we end this episode, I just want to say thank you to the Going Racing members here on the channel. MJ, Aiden, James, Dylan, Joseph 9001, RJ, Timothy, Bubba Jr., Illinois Diecast, NASCAR on Ducks, Devin Roth, Eric, Chouette, Matthias Hansen, as well as Movement. As I say every episode, you guys help me out a lot, and I really do appreciate it. And in the next one, we will determine the playoff grid here for season number 3 of the Cup Series in our Career Mode series. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have yourselves a great day.